How hard is it for you to get clients from the internet? For most, it's a bit of a slog. Let me tell you a quick story about a one-man pressure washing business owner who closed $100,000 worth of business in just 5 days. He did it without a fancy website and without paying for ads. But first, let's establish a few things. Most service providers would love nothing more than to have a reliable system that provides an endless stream of leads and prospects you can access on demand, without a big advertising budget or relying on some nebulous, unreliable tactics and strategies like SEO, which you can't really control, or paid search ads, which is super competitive and can drain your wallet fast, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Of course, there's always social media advertising, which seems to be the latest hot trend today. But seriously, advertising in general is kind of tricky if you're new to the online marketing game. So with that, let me ask you, how do you currently get business? And more importantly, how consistent, reliable, and easy is it for you to get clients with your current strategy? If it's hard to implement, struggling makes you not want to do it at all. If it's unreliable, the inconsistent results leads to frustration and anxiety. That's usually the problem with relying too heavily on things like referrals. You're never sure when you'll get the next one, you never know who's going to send them to you, or how much you'll be able to make. The pressure washer I want to tell you about, Troy, he didn't have any digital technical skills. He barely could figure out how to turn on his PC. Still, he had to figure out ways to get clients for his business. Familiar with all the marketing hardships we just discussed earlier, Troy simply did what he knew, which was mostly stuff like hanging up door hanger ads, handing out flyers, cold door-to-door prospecting, mostly spending hours doing grunt work manual labor. The way he describes it, it was mostly throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what stuck. Though he struggled and slogged to get the clients, he made do with what he could. One of his biggest worries, however, was the constant fear of wasting money because he was never sure if he'd get a client from his efforts and make his money back. Do you ever have that same fear? What are your biggest worries when it comes to investing money in your marketing? One day, during his slower season, he contemplated how he could keep his prospect pipeline full without having to do manual slogging it out. He was tired of wasting hours on end doing manual labor marketing. He was tired of having to sell himself and doing the whole client audition. He knew thanks to the internet, there had to be a better way. That's when he started searching online for alternative solutions. During one of these searches, he came upon some stuff I had posted. He said in my post he saw immediately that my methods could help him. How? My strategies involved pre-selling and automation. The things I recommended to him included access to a virtually limitless pool of only the most lucrative local prospects. Those are prospects with deep pockets and those who needed his services. These were the clients he had been desperately trying to get in front of, but doing it the slow, hard, and difficult grind way. Thanks to finding my posts, he joined my Facebook group, the Parlay Society. He saw some other helpful recommendations I had made, and then he decided he might want to work with me. So he booked a call. Once I learned more about his situation, I was able to determine what critical pieces he was missing from his marketing, what things had to be changed, and what could be left as is. The changes I advised didn't involve anything to do with his website. It also didn't involve paid search ads, nor did it require him to mail out sales letters, hand out flyers, or knock on doors and interrupt people in person. None of that stuff was necessary anymore. No, the changes I recommended, the lead generation strategy that I suggested he employ, involved only two things. Number one, we optimize one specific social media profile of his and make it more appealing to his ideal prospects. And number two, we automate his prospecting efforts using only that platform. While at first he was a bit reluctant and skeptical to use my recommendations because he was still not sure if an alternative strategy would be better. I mean, he was still talking to other vendors about stuff like SEO and Facebook ads, which are still valid marketing components that everyone should consider as part of a holistic marketing strategy. The solution I recommended, however, incorporated SEO naturally into the plan, meaning it wasn't the core focus, nor did we have to do things like worry about backlinks or anything technical like that. This was more like easy and automatic SEO on steroids because Troy not only would be visible, findable, and discoverable on all kinds of search engines, but he would also be highly visible on the greatest professional social network on the planet, LinkedIn. The other things about my strategy is it wouldn't require spending any money on paid ads. No, the only other thing he invested in was automating outreach. That is, he paid a one-off monthly fee to be able to automatically target and directly market to only ideal leads and target prospects. After giving my game plan some thought, he decided it would be worth the relatively low investment to test it out. On the downside, he knew at the very least he'd have a much more professional profile that would represent and pre-sell his company 1,000 times better than he was doing right now, and he'd at least have a profile that was more appealing for prospects to view should they decide to snoop and do research on him. So really, there was nothing to lose in giving my ideas a shot. So what happened? Well, after the plan was discussed and put into action, within 5 days, he connected with about 70 new prospects and he closed $100,000 worth of new business accounts. How's that for success? How would you like to experience similar results? Imagine how much better your business would be if you were able to connect with your ideal target customers and prospects. How much easier would it be if you could do this all pretty much on autopilot? Not only that, but what if you had customers and prospects finding you? Why wouldn't you want this for yourself? Here's what Troy had to say about working with me in his own words.
This is Troy Whitaker. Since I met Carlos, a few months ago, my business has exploded. As you can see, I'm at the Radisson Hotel. I'm actually in Nashville, Tennessee. We got a 5:30 a.m. flight to Mexico in the morning. And this time last year, I didn't have that. This time last year, we was just still hustling and grinding and just trying to get things going. Over the course of the past few months, we've put some systems in place. Literally in the past 3 months, I've hired 3 full-time employees. I've hired a full-time office manager, and so things are going good. Now, they may change tomorrow. You never know in this world, but right now things are going good. And I have to give a big shout out and a big thanks to Carlos because of some of the systems that he kind of taught me about, and some of the simple things as far as the marketing side of it goes. Just really kind of catapulted me to the next level, so to speak. I own a pressure washing business of all things. Who would have thought that holding a garden hose you can make over $35,000 in a month? Well, last year we did over 35 grand in a month, which is by far our best month we had ever had. So I just can't wait, and I just wanted to bring this information to you guys. LinkedIn, LinkedIn's been an absolute gold mine for me. I'm doing a $10,000 project in one single day. We're going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee at an apartment complex, and we're doing a $10,000 contract with them for one single day of service. So that's the type of stuff that I've got through LinkedIn. And the only reason I got that through LinkedIn is through a little bitty blurb that I just happened to catch that Carlos posted in the Parlay Society. So I'm just telling you guys, pay attention to what the man is saying. You take a portion of it and just run with that portion. I'm telling you, you will find success.
If you're interested in learning more about working with me, and if you'd like to see how I might be able to help you get better clients quicker, faster, and easier than you might be doing currently, click the link and book a call with me today.